Oh. 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 This is definitely something that I do not feel people say in Michigan, but I could be crazy, and you can tell me if I'm crazy. Are you guys liking the beard? And we are good to go. Hello everybody, my name is Ryan Redoute and welcome to my channel. I am a proud Michigander who likes to dabble in things like the ukulele, inspiring people, helping them with their careers and job paths, really a lot of different things. So you can check that all out after this video if you wish. But today is all about the Michigan accent. Now, the reason why I am doing a second Michigan accent video is because my first one got like 17,000 views so far. It's gotten 300 or so comments. All of you wonderful people that are commenting where you're from, how the video impacted you and made you realize that the way you talk is actually pretty unique. So I love all the comments. Keep putting them on that video, and honestly, comment on this video too, because I love replying and I reply to every single one. But I think I realized through making that video that the Michigan accent is pretty unique. I thought it was cool because a lot of people who moved out of Michigan still have their Michigan accent, and they were talking about how that is and being in, you know, different parts of the country, and I just thought it was really cool. So I wanted to make a part 2. Now in this part 2, that's going to be a lot different from my previous video, which I'll link below and you can go check out after watching this one, is that I'm diving more into slang words and words that are pretty unique to Michigan, versus the other one was very much about the way we actually talk, letters we use, letters we don't use. So the two will go hand in hand in that way. And do not worry at all if you have watched my previous video and you're watching this one and you still don't feel like you have a good grasp of the Michigan accent, and let's say you're someone who's visiting or wants to just communicate better with Michiganders, I'll have another acronym to help you out. So without further ado, let's dive in. Firstly, let's talk about the term up north. Okay, so up north is usually, I think, when people are talking about actually physically going up north to maybe a cabin or a cottage. And many people say this phrase, but Michiganders tend to say it in a sense of it could be you are leaving to go anywhere. It could be a cottage that is west of where you're at. It could sometimes even be south. I even find myself saying up north if I go to Saugatuck, Michigan, which I'm in, you know, the Detroit area, so going to Saugatuck is actually just going directly west, but I would almost still say up north just because it kind of has this up north feel to it. It's, you know, by the lake. Hashtag lake life is usually the vibe in these kinds of areas that people say they're going up north to. So people tend to say it a lot because I think of those vibes that actually the areas they're going to give off versus the direction that they're actually going that, you know, people in other places of the country might say. Now I think we all are pretty familiar with this one, but pop versus soda. It's definitely pop. One of my favorite sayings that Michiganders say is, oh, 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 oh. And this is a phrase that all, I would say, Midwesterners use, because when I lived in Chicago for a bit, I also heard it a lot. So it's Michiganders and Midwesterners, I would say, use this, but it's a phrase that you say when, you know, passing someone and maybe you got too close to them, and you just say like, oh, oh, like, oh, watch out, oh, okay. It's so funny because I literally hear it everywhere, and I mean, just think about what you would hear inside a public place in Michigan of people just constantly passing each other, like a train station or an airport. It's just kind of, you're just gonna hear, oh, 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 oh. Now this next one I read and I was kind of confused, so, you know, feel free to comment below if you know this to be an actual thing, because it might just be to a certain area within Michigan, but fudgies? Fudgies? And this is apparently what people call the tourists visiting the northern parts of Michigan, so let's say like the UP area. But yeah, feel free to comment below and let me know if that's a real thing, because I've never heard it personally, but I would, understand if it was a thing because there's a lot of fudge in the northern parts of Michigan. Fun fact about fudge though, when you're traveling with it in an airport, it could set off the security alarm when going through the scanners and sensors. Apparently the consistency of it is not the greatest for security reasons. And I know this because when I was in the airport in South Carolina, I was going through security and my bag got flagged, and I went over to the side to talk to the woman who was going through my bag to make sure there was nothing dangerous in it, and I said, "What was the problem?" And she goes,
"Oh, it was the fudge."
And I said, "The fudge? Oh my gosh, like, I can't believe it." She goes,
"Yeah, the consistency of it is, just sets off the sensors all the time."
Word to the wise if you're traveling to Michigan and heading back somewhere else, okay? A lot of these next couple of phrases all have this, unifying theme in that Michiganders like to save time. It's precious. And how we save time is by just cutting out letters, which is something I kind of referred to a little bit in my previous video of, not saying t sounds. But overall, we are trying to shrink words and phrases so that we can talk as fast as possible to each other and just get said what needs to be said. Now, apparently, after doing some research, okay, this could be a result of Detroit being founded by a French person, and that the Michigan accent does have, these hints of French dialect in it, in the sense of the French apparently use something called liaison, and they also use something called liaison, or hold on, ilaison. So liaison and ilaison. And they are all about how, if you ever heard in the French language when they're speaking, they are saying words pretty fast and they're not saying a lot of the hard sounds. And if you studied the French language, feel free to comment below and tell me if I'm butchering this or if you have any other tips. I will be sure to spread the word. But similar to the French, how something is spelled out is not really the way we're going to say it, right? We're going to shrink it. We're going to say the letters that are important to us that we feel can help us best get the message across. But, French does have a lot of rules to it, whereas the Michigan accent has none. Now, the reason I believe that the Michigan accent definitely adopted some Frenchness to its accent is because Detroit was founded by a Frenchman, and I'm going to read his name to make sure I pronounce it right and, just to have an excuse to speak in French because it's a pretty language. Detroit was founded by the French explorer and nobleman by the name of Antoine de Cadillac. Not Cadillac. So I feel like Michiganders could have definitely adopted this Frenchness from, Detroit being found by a French explorer and nobleman. And we even have French areas around us. For instance, Montreal is a French colony that I went there, and it's very, very French. Like, everyone speaks French. They do not speak English. Everything is in French. So I think we definitely could have gotten those vibes up in this area in the northern parts of the USA, which I think could be the reason why we say the words I'm about to tell you about the way that we do here in Michigan. One of them is jeet. Now, obviously, just saying jeet out loud is not specifically sounding like something us Michiganders would say, but if you know the phrase, "Did ya eat?" and if you say that like you normally would, "Did ya eat?" you can hear how you get the G out of that to shorten it and to just make it a very quick thing to say. So, "Hey mom, did you eat?" "Hey dad, did you eat?" Another one that we say a lot is "ya guys." Okay, so this one I say, it's just all the time, whether it's, females, males, I say guys. I can't help it. I'm trying to break that because I don't want to be, specific to just saying guys. I feel like Michiganders do say it a lot, and that, you say ya guys, like, "Hey you guys, hey guys." And notice how the ya is really short. Don't even bother spending a lot of time trying to say you or ya guys. Just say like, "you guys." Almost one word. This next one is another one of my favorites, but it is how we would say Secretary of State. Now, as you read it, it's a very long phrase. Let's shorten that. No one wants to waste extra time saying where they went to go get their license renewed. I mean, it just seems like a waste of time. So we say Secretary of State. One word, don't even bother putting in the spaces, and that is the way you would go about pronouncing that. This was one that at first when I read it, I was like, oh, you know, this isn't me. This is not something I say. This is, you know, just like, you know, fluff. But I actually found out that I think I do say it. And let me know in the comments below if you say it the same way. So it's look it. But think about it in terms of you saying like, look at it. I would be like, oh my gosh, look at it. I said, just like that, actually. I naturally just said it. But it's like if you have a rock or if you found something cool, you're not gonna say, oh my gosh,
look at it.
Like we're just not those types of people. We're like, oh my gosh, look at it. And you can notice that I am saying the at in there in the middle slightly, like little tiny bit. But overall, it is pretty much just look at. I actually do believe that this is definitely something us Michiganders would say because I definitely have heard other people say it before. Another quick one like look at is where at. So when you're thinking about it, you're like, oh, where at? Like everyone probably says that. Well, wait for it. You don't actually need to say at. You can just say, oh, where? But Michiganders will be like, oh, where at? And I find that my mom says this a lot, and many other family members do. You always will add at. So I definitely feel like this is another Michigander type word. Some other quick words that we shorten or say differently would be something like, you know, fire. We just say fire. It almost is like F-A-Y-R instead of F-I-R-E, like the fire. That's how maybe other people would say it. We just go, the fire. Another one is mirror. I really just can't say all. I'm like, oh my gosh, I really can't say all of those letters. So mirror, I think we don't spend time with that second section of it, so we just say the mirror. I understand that I'm probably saying it the same way both times, but I'm trying my best to exemplify the difference. This is definitely something that I do not feel people say in Michigan, but I could be crazy, and you can tell me if I'm crazy, but I do not believe that we say milk. I think that is I don't know who says it, I have never heard it. I had one friend in college who did say milk, but it did sound really close to milk. So I wasn't fully on board with thinking that she was saying milk. So let me know if you hear it a lot. Maybe it's a UP thing. You know, I'm not in the up north area of Michigan as much, but you gotta let me know. There's also like city names that we definitely shorten a lot, like Grand Rapids, which is an area I just visited recently. Well, drove through, but plan to visit again in the fall. We say Grand Rapids. We don't say Grand Rapids. Notice all the D's we don't say? So like I said, if you feel like you still don't have a good grasp of the Michigan accent after watching my first video and this video, then here's an acronym to help you out, just in case, you know, you want to communicate better with Michiganders, you want to be in more good rapport with Michiganders, or you're planning to visit and want to blend in a little bit better. Just use the acronym BIGGRETCH, or Big GRETCH. Now, it's not going to help you remember any of these special words or rules that I have discussed, but it will get the Michiganders you are talking with or that you are around excited to talk about how their governor has a whole rap written about her and was impersonated by Cecily Strong on SNL. So I hope you guys got some great tidbits out of understanding the way you speak more, or maybe the people you love speak more. I, for one, enjoyed researching this so much, and I will honestly continue making videos like this if I discover new things based on your comments or based on just my own research. Overall, I've really enjoyed talking about Michigan, and I plan to make more videos about Michigan, about being a Michigander, maybe some, you know, about being in the Midwest in general too. So feel free to like this video if you enjoyed it and you enjoy this type of content. Be sure to subscribe to my channel to be notified when I launch a new video, and overall, I just hope you all have a wonderful day. Wait, what's that, Mom? You found the mirror? Where at? Oh, yeah, I knew it was there.